Hello and welcome. It's Erica of Variable Arts, and we're here for some bat making, and it's Sunday demo, but on Monday, because yesterday was the Waffle Show. So we'll let people gather. I'm going to get you set up a little bit. Get you to look at a new drum carder today. Okay. We're going to be using Brother Cadfael, who's I got just over a week ago. Okay. He does fit. He's a little bit longer and a little bit wider. I think not much. Well, he's probably roughly the same width. Hang on one second. We can check. No, we can't because I put things on top of it. Oh, here it is. Here's Sebastian. So if I put Sebastian sort of there, he is roughly, the frame is roughly the same width. Let's do a real quick, hopefully not dropping him, comparison of the drums. Okay, his drum is a little bit smaller than maybe an inch smaller. Not gonna put him down without dropping him. He sits on his butt quite well though, or his back end, so I can do that. There we go. Okay, so I have Cadfael on here. I have one clamp sort of off camera here. I couldn't find my second clamp, so we'll see how that goes. And I also made a discovery as I was moving Cadfael around. I thought he was a 90 TPI on the drum here. Okay. And it turns out that he actually is exactly the same size as Sebastian. The drum is a 120. The liquor in is a 90. That seems to be how Brother does it. They do the liquor in sort of one step below with the TPI. I was really hoping he was going to be a 90, but obviously I still like him. I mean, we'll see how I feel after I've used him. But you know, eventually I do want to have a 90 TPI to try it out. But one of the main reasons I got Cadfael was to use in teaching, so it doesn't really matter what his TPI is. I just want to have a nice selection for students to pick from. And in fact, somebody just sent me information about applying to Wisconsin to teach the Wisconsin Sheep and Wool Show. I'll think about it. I'm waitlisted as a vendor, like everybody else, because it's a really hard show to get into. But maybe I will do an application for teaching. We'll have to see. Will depend on how many drum carders, if I want to do a carding class, how many drum carders I have by that point. So it's a much thicker, more substantial handle. Okay. This one also has the packing brush on here. I can actually screw it off and so forth, but I'm going to leave it on for this first attempt. See what looks like a slightly bent needle. I will say the carding cloth appears to be of a slightly different pattern than what I'm used to. Sebastian tends to have like rows of two teeth really close together and a slight gap, rows of two teeth. And I don't know if that's a difference between American carding cloth and British, because remember Sebastian is British, or what. So, yeah, we'll have to see. But hopefully the clamp I have back here will work. Okay. And yeah, we're going to give him a shot. So we're doing pink today. And now I have this pink here, and I can't remember where I got it from. Can I remember where I got this from? Okay, I got pink, bright pink bamboo. I got this alpaca bamboo merino from a mill. I think I've got the mill name on a card over there, but I got this at Fiber U. It's sort of pink and gray. This feels like Jehovah Jireh Farm and Mill, but I am not sure. It is pink. I can tell you that. as I knock over my little stand of things. Let's see. I've got this, which is some Falkland, lots of the Falkland I had from Crate Yarn Works. I made a couple of bats out of this, the blue end, and I'm going to just immediately divide this up into 4 strips. Okay. So we got that. We got Falkland. We got this mixture. We got this pink that I cannot remember where it came from. I made this pile on Saturday. No, Friday, actually. Tiny little bit of... Let's see, what is this? This is not Rambouillet. It's not that. Let's see, where did this come from? Oh, this is the Cormo Corriedale. And then I have this one over here. This is definitely sort of a medium wool. That I can tell. I have this here, which is, let's see. This is all merino, but it picks up sort of the red with some blue. And then I pulled out some pinks. I thought I pulled out blue too. Hang on 1 second. I'll put this over here. I've got 2 pinks of bio nylon. Oh, yep. And there we go. I got a navy bio nylon. That's what I was looking for. Okay. So, that's what we're going to work with today. It's going to be sort of Peawood blues, I think. Okay, so we get to just sort of try it out. And I think I'm going to start with this Unknown Fire. And I'm going to set you up over there. Hello. Yes, this is the new Carter. We're going to see how... Let's see if I can get that. That should work. Yes. Okay. And you can see the clamp now over here. I need to find where the other... I know I had 2 clamps. I just don't know where the other one is. Now, this could also be... Ooh, this could also be Leicester Longwool. This could be from the Rose Field. What I get for having a random ball of yarn. Let's see how this works. Okay, now I already see I'm going to have to hold on a little bit. It's a little noisy. But he is definitely wider than... I'm just going to keep putting more of this on. Wider than Sebastian was. And I sort of got to keep a hold of the tray. I think once I find another clamp for over here, I think it'll be a little better. Okay. We did that. Let's add some merino. And I'm just going to sort of flatten it out a lot. Okay, a little bit, that sort of clumping right about there. I think it was the end of the braid, and so it sometimes ends of braids get a little bit cotted. So I'm just going to paint this on like this, trying not to stab myself with the knitting needle in my other hand over here. Got the knitting needle still. Okay, let's press that down. I'm not used to working with the packing brush there. Okay, let's try some of this alpaca mixture. If I can find it end. There we go. Okay, let's see how it does feeding on. So far nothing is sticking to the liquor in, so that's good. For anyone joining me later, I made the discovery, because I turned Sebastian over, to find out that he actually has a TPI of 120 on the main drum. So he's the same TPI as Sebastian. The Liquor Inn has 90. That's what they do at Brother. They do a split so that the Liquor Inn has a lower TPI than. I'm not used to also having it so far down over here. Look at your comments in a second, Andrew. I like that bright pink. I don't have much of it left, but almost new. Well, it's not new to me. I mean, it's new to me. It's this is pre-owned and pre-loved. So I got it from another vendor who was selling it. So more pink, not quite the same pink, but we're still using it. The pink bamboo I just put on is more of a coral, but I don't care. Just pushed it over here a little bit. Tomorrow I'm taking a road trip back to the center part of the state, and I am picking up a new loom. Same show that I bought this at. I found someone selling a 4-harness Louette Erica table loom, which is one I've been looking at. It was the smaller one. They have a larger one that I really I wanted the larger one, but then as I was looking at the smaller one, I realized there's no room for the larger one in my condo. But the smaller one, there is room. So I talked with the woman selling it and decided that if I could get the money together, I was going to get it, and I did. Okay, I'm not going to put any sparkle or Angelina in this one, I think. It's just going to be fiber. Okay, so the random piece of wool that we're not quite sure what it is, sort of that mulberry color, we'll stick a little bit on there. Watching from Target. Yeah, I have to do, my sister and I had contact over the weekend, and we were sort of like, so what do you want for Christmas? Because we're not going to see each other this year, because I'm staying in Iowa, and she's out in Massachusetts. So, now this is that Falkland. We're just going to sort of add a thin layer of this. And so I sent her my request, one of which I know she's already gotten me because I got an email. I wanted a paper subscription. Oops, gotta hold on to it. Paper subscription to Ply Magazine, which I've got now. I got the email saying my subscription started. I don't get anything till March, but now that I'm doing so much in the fiber world, it's like I know a lot of the people who write these articles. I'll be curious to see because one second. Excuse me. Little dust there. Because the drum is a little bit longer than Sebastian, so are the bats going to be that much bigger than Sebastian bats? I don't know. We'll have to find out. I don't know if the teeth are the same height, because I had this discussion earlier about the difference. There may be a difference between British and American carding cloth and all of that. It's very smooth. I guess I could also try doing, I see Caitlin doing this a lot with hers. We'll try that. Let's see what we want to do next. Let's do more of this. So one of the things I'm trying, maybe you guys can chime in on this. So I have my phone in the, thank you, in the tripod, which is sort of tilted, so I can keep my phone plugged in because I'm having battery issues. My battery is losing charge quite swiftly, so that I hopefully don't end up with having the video ending. But I'm trying to decide if I don't think I'm having troubles with any other issues with the phone, and so can you just get your phone a new battery? I mean, I would probably have to take it someplace to do it, but can I just get my phone a new battery? Because I really don't want to have to buy a new phone. I like this phone. It takes really good pictures. It is a little different for me because I'm used to painting on right here, but that's where the packing brush is. So, I don't know. Let's do the blue. I have to get used to painting more back here. Let's get these. This bright pink is called Orchid. So I needed to decide what to do about the battery. You can't get in a battery. Okay, yeah. And I might have to. So I can read that one. It is a good one. On the Fancy Kitty, I think the angle is slightly different, and so I found it more an annoyance than anything else. But also remember, I've learned to make bats without the packing brush here. So, because on Sebastian, the packing brush goes over this back end here and pushes against it, and it kept falling off, so I stopped using it. Okay, I'm looking for the other pink. This will pick up that blue. Yeah, so my week is filling up. I have to finish I've created the Wafa album. There's nothing in it yet. And right after this, I have to go down the street. I'm still not sure about that coral, that sort of pinky coral. But I have to go down the street, the little store where I have some items in. The person who usually works on Monday is leaving for the winter, and so I'm going to stop by and say goodbye to her. Sometime this week I have to do my YarnCon application. It's a long shot, but okay, let's see how that feels. It's a much thinner Doffer strip there. Okay, this feels like there's a lot of room in there. Okay, let's try and do it this way. Less likely to bend any of the teeth. So I've got to do that. I have to get my sister's Cyber Monday, Black Friday, Cyber Monday on sale presents. She wants yarn. but it's very specific what yarn she wants. I was instructed not to do the, oh, I saw this and thought of you. She told me exactly what she wants. So I'm going to be good and give her exactly what she wants. Okay, I'm getting a little bit of pickup. You can't see the liquor in really from where you are. I'm getting a little bit of pickup, but it's mainly that pink and gray that has the alpaca in it, and that's just alpaca. Yeah. Nothing else has been sticking. I will have to try doing an Angelina sandwich on this to see how that goes. Okay, let's do more of this. I'll put some more Falkland on. Thank you. Yeah, I just have to figure out where to take it. I bought it from my phone company, which is like completely online. I use Ting. And I just, they have a little shop area that's got a selection of phones in it, and I just, it was on sale, and it got really good reviews, so that's the one I picked. Oops, got a little bit of clumping. Let's see if we can feel how that is. It's not bad, actually. Actually, I think it's okay. I feel there's just a little... Nope, the catch I'm feeling is the lip here, so... Okay, let's put on more add-ins. So far, I'm liking this. It's a happy purchase. And it was also a really good deal. At some point, I'm going to want to try and get an Ashford to add to my collection. My guild has a Louette, and I'm not wild about the Louette, so I may just, when I need to have a collection of Carters for a class, whatever, I may just rent the one from my guild. I'm not sure I want to spend the money, because Louette Carters are really expensive, or compared to some of the others. And they're not... I'm not incredibly impressed by them. Now, it could just be because of the one I've used at my guild. Right? And it could be that the newer ones are better, because the one at my guild is pretty old. It would be nice to get a Magicraft, but, I don't think I want to, sell a firstborn child or something like that. Not that I have a firstborn child to sell, but Magicrafts are really expensive. And even used ones are really expensive. I would like to try a Duncan. They're made out in Oregon. I've heard mixed things about them, though, and particularly the manual. The manual looks kind of interesting. It's got an interesting sort of wheel sort of over here for the... and I should probably get a Clems and Clems at some point. I was thinking about a Strouch, but the thing about the Strouches, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, is they're not really making them anymore. So I'm not sure I want to, because one of the points of assembling the collection is obviously using them in classes, teaching people the card art bats. And, you know, having a Carter that you can't get anymore. Because one of the points is obviously teaching people to make art bats, but also letting people try all sorts of different Carters so that they can, you know, decide which one they want to get. And so having one you can no longer get is maybe not a good idea. So, I can't read that comment. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is a real, I'm like poking myself when I do this. Okay, so it's definitely thicker in here. Let's put some of this over here. It doesn't have to be perfectly balanced, obviously. I'm going to push a little here. I can see it sort of riding at the top here. So let's just add a little bit more of this. So use up this hot magenta. Okay, try this. I need a third hand until I can get a good clamp. Let's try this, see if that works. Resting on the, I think that works. So I can sort of, it's a little high to hip check it, but I can sort of like lean on it a little bit. I am getting a little bit of transfer on the liquor in now, particularly on this fuzzier one here. Okay. So we're going to put the last layers on. As you know, I like to get the bamboo on earlier on that last layer so that it gets locked in by other less slick ingredients, like the bio-nylon. Take a little bit of this, and I'm just going to paint it on, I think. I can do it. Now I know why Caitlin does this. Okay. And then so one of the other ones I'm looking at is there's a, I think it's a Dutch company, Woolmakers. They have a very minimalist looking drum carter. They do a little one like looks like Squirt, the baby brother. That looks, those are really small. Okay. But their regular size carter, which I think is called a Giant, actually is, the drum is bigger. Okay. So you get a bigger bat out of it. And so that's one I would really like to try. Okay, so I got 2 pinks. Let's get the blue on. And then I think we're done. I'd be curious to see how much this weighs. So this would be a great time to guess how much you think this is going to weigh, because I'm loose. Because I've never done a bat on here, so I can't even guess. So, ooh. Right. So, okay, let us. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is loosen loosen this. I think I can go back over here. And so let's try. So it actually did come with its own doffer stick. So let's try and see how this goes, or if I want to go back to my regular one. We're just going to do little bits. Same philosophy as usual of doing it in small increments. And I'm already switching over to back to the other one. It's just longer. I can get a better pivot on this edge here. I can see, however, that first layer of pink that I put down at the beginning is going to stick to the drum big time. So. Amy, I think that might be too big. No! Come on. Andrew, you remember the rules are you have to actually make a sensible guess. Okay? A pound is not going to work. Try and be reasonable. I know it's hard. Have Stefano guess, maybe. Okay, so we've broken the bat. Maybe. There, now we've broken the bat. Okay, we're going to use our needle as well, because it's very clear to me that it's going to need a little bit of help. I am going to try and press it back down, but this doffer crease is much closer together, so I just have to can't do it fast. I have to be very, very careful so I don't get one of these under my thumbnail. Okay, so let's take this and get between the teeth and loosen up some of this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clean this big time. It is gray and windy outside. Snow on, there's not a lot of snow, but there's like snow in various places. And okay, that handle is so heavy it keeps sort of causing things to roll backwards. Sebastian's handle is only plastic, so it's a little lighter as opposed to the metal here. Okay, this doesn't feel really super thick. You know, I like thick bats. But I'm also beginning to wonder if the carding cloth on Sebastian, if the teeth are just longer. Because there are some cloths that have a longer staple length, I guess we could call it. Because this is, but it could also be the fiber I used. I'm just being a little anal here about picking up, loosening up the edges. Now that fuzzy pink is just fuzzy. My edges are also a little thinner than usual. Okay, we got a lot over here. I'm just going to pick that up later. That got left behind. Okay, so this is what it looks like before fluffing. Okay, I'm going to step off camera real quick and decide how much. There's a few places where I feel it does need to be fluffed, but it's not feeling particularly thick to me. Now, I will say this summer when I was out at Teddy's Farm, Smell Like Your Farm, for the Fiber Arts Bash, we played around with her electric double wide and I noticed that the bat on that was also, which was Brother, also very wide. So here it is sort of fluffed out, teased out. I just felt that the bat was really thin. So I'm unsure. Okay, so I'm doing my regular fold like a letter and then roll up into a jelly roll. Oh, it's pretty. that blue really helps a lot. Okay, now I have to figure out what I've done with my, I'll put these over here. I figure out what I did with the scale. I moved it. because this is a little wider, I normally keep the scale right there, but it wasn't going to fit perfectly, so. Okay. Turn it on. Put my little piece on there. We're going to tear it out. Drum roll, please. Oops, no, we don't want the knitting needle in it. Okay. So I'm going to take a peek in a quick second and see what you all guessed. It's very fluffy, yes, but it still feels really thin to me. And I just feel like these needles are thinner than, are not as high up as Sebastian. Okay. So the guesses are further up there. I can't see them. It came out to be 2.46 ounces. And it's going to be something, I'm going to name it something that I can do 1, 2, and 3 because I'm going to try and use up the rest of those color combinations. But they're going to, because I used up all the, I can't sort of do all of them. So if you have a name suggestion, put it there. If I can't come up with something, I'll just pick a random place name, which is often what I'm doing. But now I'm going to have to like sit here and remember what some of those fibers are. So that is it for today. Okay. I will post some photos. I think I can get some photos real quick before the light goes. Sorry for the tilt there. Yes, I'm going to work on the album, go run the errands I have to run, and all of that. Oh, she got closest? Okay, good. Oh, raspberry. Oh, I've done raspberry stuff, but I don't think I've done raspberry bramble. I've done bramble. But I don't think I've done raspberry, I've done bramble, but I don't think I've put the two together. So that might work. That might work. Okay. Well, thank you for watching Brother Cadfield's inaugural run. I'm assuming everyone knows where the name Brother Cadfield comes from. The Brother Cadfield Mysteries, which you could have watched on Masterpiece Theater if you're like my age. Or maybe in reruns. I'm sure they're available somewhere. Okay. Or you can read the books. I believe they're Ellis Peters books. And of course, it's based on a medieval monk, so it's got a medieval connection. So we're happy with that. So yeah, so I'm going to learn a bit more about what works for him and what doesn't. And I'll try some different techniques on him to see how they go. So thank you very, very much for tuning in. As I said, I'll post some pictures and work on the album. So I'll see you around on Facebook.